In this video, I'm going to share the manifesting practices that you can apply in your own life if you're feeling at a low point or needing inspiration for your own manifesting journey. I'll start off with how I went from rock bottom to manifesting and living my dream life. I will touch on the topics of manifesting money, manifesting a new home, manifesting a new community and friends, manifesting the love of my life, manifesting a laptop lifestyle, and manifesting an adventurous life. So, the intention of this video is to inspire you, to support you in applying manifesting practices that are potent, that actually work. And a lot of the manifesting practices I'm going to share with you come from my schooling and training as a clinical hypnotherapist and rapid transformational therapist, where it was all learning and understanding the power of your subconscious mind. So I'm going to start off with sharing my rock bottom story, where I had a business with a friend. She was a mentor. Wore many hats for me. And we had a yoga and fitness studio and business. And when that was dissolving, I was losing a friend. I was losing my business. I was losing all of my savings. I was losing a loan that my parents had gifted to me, and losing where I was living. Like, this dissolving of this partnership and business, I really was in the lowest point in my life. I had the darkest thoughts I've ever had. And to my core, I'm a very positive, happy, bubbly girl. And I couldn't even recognize who I was. It was such a low point in my life where I felt naked and stripped of everything. My whole life that I had put into and built. I mean, it was 3 years of my life, but it felt like that was my life and it was being taken away from me. Like, it wasn't a positive experience, the ending of this business. There was a lot of negativity, a lot of toxicity. Like, a veil from my eyes got lifted and I could really see what was happening and what was going on. So I had to leave. I had to get out of that place, out of that business, out of where I was. And it was the hardest time in my life because I felt like I literally lost everything, from money to my career to friends to the home I was living in. And manifesting and understanding the subconscious mind were two powerful understandings and practices, and really brought me from a very, very low point in my life out of it. This black hole that I didn't see any light, any hope, anything in. Understanding and having the gift of manifesting that you can co-create, create, attract anything you want in life when you're at like a low point, and that little seed of light and hope can be huge and massive. And also understanding the subconscious mind, and if I kept allowing limiting beliefs of like, this will never end, I'll never get out of this, I'll never recover, it would have just kept me down and kept me so much longer in that rock bottom time in my life. So I want to share with you the same hope and light. And even if it's a tiny little seed, seeds start off small and then they blossom and they grow the more we nourish them. When there felt like there was no hope and no light and just so low in my life, when I started to apply the practices of manifesting and the principles of the subconscious mind, that's when things started to really change for me. So the first thing I manifested was a laptop lifestyle and a new career, new work. And the work actually found me. And this is where just putting out the desire for your work, even if you don't know what it is, but you know what you like, you know what you're good at, or you just want opportunities to come to you, literally just put that out into the world. So I would journal and I would script of my dream like work day. And that's just taking out a journal and writing out how you want to feel, what you want it to look like, what you want to experience. I knew after feeling so trapped in this first business I was involved in, I wanted to feel free, free in my work, free to go wherever, be wherever, this laptop lifestyle. I wanted to feel free within the hours I was working. So be the curator of my own schedule. I wanted freedom. So I would just write about being free. And I know I've always desired to help people, support people, and reach people. So I would write about that as well. And work, my vocation, I call it, because that's why I put work in quotations, found me. And I was guided to a YouTube video, maybe kind of like how you're guided to this one. And I saw Marissa Peer talking on Mind Valley, and she was sharing about the subconscious mind and rapid transformational therapy. And I just felt this overwhelming pull and resonance of go look into that further. And I did. I took the schooling and the training. I didn't think at the time like I was going to make that into my career. I really just loved healing and learning and understanding limiting beliefs in the subconscious mind. When I was taking the schooling, the training, I was like, this explains manifesting on such a like neuroscience subconscious level. I was just, it was where I was meant to go and be. With this manifesting a laptop lifestyle, with my training, seeing clients in person, that was where I started out, but I knew I wanted to be in that freedom to be wherever, go wherever. So I shifted my entire practice and seeing clients all online. And some people don't want that and they want to see you in person, and that's okay. But when I just stayed committed to the work laptop lifestyle and shifting everything online, it worked because I was committed to my desire and committed to the path. So asking yourself, what do you even want for work? What do you want to feel? Do you want it to be half on laptop, half in person? I started to do half in person as well because I really liked that face-to-face contact with workshops and teaching yoga. So that I started to mix in as well. But that job and working for yoga in a yoga studio, that aligned with me to be creative and a place where I could do creative sequencing and share a message. Not all studios were like that. So I had to keep searching and finding that place, go to different yoga studios and tune into like, oh, does this fit my style and my vibe? And when I found one, I did my part in the manifesting process. Some manifestations, it's more of just like putting it out there and trusting it will come. You'll get the instructions of what that is for your work if you want to manifest a new work or a side hustle or add something else into your work. This one required me to go to different studios and really put my face in front of the owner. And when I did that, passed through all the hiring process, and I got my laptop lifestyle and the in-person contact that I wanted. Also, with manifesting new work, I had to really clear up worthiness tied into work because I used to only feel worthy when I was working. So this was so huge with that shift of not working 10, 12-hour days, not being easily manipulated to work for pennies, like barely anything. There was so many limiting beliefs and worthiness I had to clear. So just start to notice what limiting beliefs you have around work. One that is pretty pertinent and one I really had to face was I have to work really, really hard for money. And when you believe that, you're going to act that way. So you'll do things that are less than what your value is. And when you can really value yourself and see what your offers, your skills, your energy, your talents, your abilities are worth, there will be a value to that. And it won't be working yourself to the bone if that doesn't resonate with you. And that definitely didn't resonate with me anymore. And I made that shift and created the boundaries for hours and how often I was going to work. And it wasn't attached, if I work less, I'll receive less. I cleared that up. So not only do you want to be aware of your limiting beliefs around work, which is usually tied to money and time, but start to create affirmations, beliefs that are in alignment with how you want to work and how you want to receive money. I did a whole video on affirmations and how to create and craft ones that will be potent and powerful for you. And I'll tag that in the description below. Just making that note. Okay, and the second manifestation was manifesting a new home. And I was living in a very snowy place where that first business was, and I wanted to live in beauty and sunshine and by the ocean and water and a smaller type city. I was very, very specific with what parameters I wanted my new home to have and to be. And I had a friend, I was telling her about that, and she was like, why don't you come on to the west coast of Canada? It sounds exactly what you're describing. And so putting it out there, I wrote it down. I was scripting what I wanted. That was the manifestation practice. And then putting it out there to the universe, whether that be telling a friend, telling family, putting it out on social media. I put it out and then the answer came to me because I didn't know where that place was. I just knew what I wanted. And went out to the west coast of Canada, visited her, stayed there, and I was like, this is the exact place that I want. Mind you, it was like 3 times, 4 times the amount of money that I was spending to live in my previous location. So with that came, okay, I need to manifest money to support this desire to live here. And a really powerful affirmation that I've lived by and that really helped me make that move, because some people won't make the move because of money. And I get that. And if you tune into making a move to a new home, to a new city, to a new location, to a new country, and it creates like alarm bells and it doesn't feel in resonance, I want you to honor that. But for me, moving to this place, it was like, it just felt so right. And I wasn't going to let the increased amount of cost of living to hold me back. So I really worked with the affirmation of money expands in proportion to my desires. And I received that from Amanda Francis from following her content. And so I really saw how that affirmations already like grooved into the universe. And I was like, I'm applying that practice to my life. My money expands in proportion to my desires. Like, how freeing and uplifting is that? So I anchored that in. I was like, okay, if I really believe that money will expand in proportion to my desire to live here on the West Coast and maintain a lifestyle of like living in a nice place and having a car and just eating good food, like just living a high quality of life, the money will expand in proportion to my desires. I really kept putting that out there. So my manifested new work as a rapid transformational therapist and clinical hypnotherapist online, taking clients online, laptop lifestyle, that increased my income, the money I was receiving increased from that allowed me to live in a place where the cost of living was much higher than before. So like all tied together. The place where I moved, there was a lot of chatter that it's like hard to find places to live, and that it can be true to an extent, But I was just like, well, I'm going to find it out for myself. So again, I scripted, I journaled the type of place I wanted to live in. I wanted it to be 15 minutes or less to the beach. I wanted a view of the water. I wanted it to be nice and new and sunny. I wanted a huge deck because I love being outside. And I wanted it at $1,000 or less per month for rent. And I put that out and it came to me. I put it out on Facebook for some reason. Like, you'll get impulses when you start like writing things down. You'll get impulses of your action. So I had this like pulse to put it on a Facebook page. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking for. And someone responded to me, and her place was the exact to a T what I wrote down of where I wanted to live and the parameters around it. And this place is gorgeous, so beautiful, but it was more than the exact amount I wanted. But I was just like, I have to take it. I felt like I had to take it. And she got back to me after and was like, actually, the landlord's going to decrease the rent to the amount that you want. Like, that's unheard of. Again, I just put it out there and it came to me. And affirmation I also live by is my life is a continuous massive upgrade. I started out with a roommate, and now I have a beautiful 2-bed, 2-bath place to myself. And my wealth kept increasing, money kept increasing to allow me to live on my own, which you can start somewhere and just know that your life gets to be a continuous massive upgrade. But going from like not having a place, like I went and stayed with my mom after the business dissolved, to then having this beautiful place and even sharing it with a roommate, that was a huge jump and a huge leap for me. And to today where I am now, it's just another beautiful leap. So all these manifestation practices that I put in when I was in rock bottom, when I was staying at my mom's, didn't know where I was going, what I was going to do, to having the new work, the new home, the new city, the new place. I keep doing those manifestation practices of the scripting, of the journaling, of the putting it out into the universe. Like, literally, I'll just like go for a walk and put out my requests to the universe. And I'll just keep reading my journal. This is a really cool statistic. You are 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing them down. So scripting and journaling, you're writing down your goals, your dreams, your desires, what it is that you want to feel and experience in life, 42% more likely. And this was a study done by Dr. Gail Matthews. She's a psychology professor at the Dominican University of California. That is an amazing statistic. So right. All right. So I touched on the laptop lifestyle, new career and work, money. The money one, I have done so much subconscious work around. There was tons of healing that was required and needed from childhood of what parents unknowingly were teaching me about money, and like the gripping of it, the tightening of it, the scarcity of it, the work really, really hard for it. I come from a bloodline of on both sides of farmers, and that is work 365 days a year, every day, throughout the night. Like, it is very, very intense labor and grueling. So a ton of shifting that work programming and money program, because they're very, very tied together, was so required and so needed. So that scripting and affirmations will work to a point, but if there is some deep-seated subconscious programming around a certain area you want to manifest in life, sometimes that's not going to be enough. And you do have to go deeper, and you do have to go into the subconscious and work with that inner child, work with that younger part of you that was taught, imprinted, learned, told something about the very thing you desire. So I have hypnosis sessions where it takes you back into that time. I have around money and I think love. So I'm going to again put that in the description so you can take yourself through this guided hypnosis session. That's hypnosis is how we access our subconscious. So we want to be doing subconscious work. How do you access your subconscious? You want to be in a theta brainwave state. That's just a relaxed state of the mind of the body, and you can be induced into relaxation. Some people have some weird conceptions around hypnosis, hypnotherapy, that like the person's controlling your mind. No one can make you do anything you don't want to do. You're still aware. You're just working in a different awareness of your subconscious. That is the holder of all of your beliefs, of all of your significant events, of all of your memories. And those get lodged into the subconscious and create our perspective and our programming around work, money, love, health, success. So I will tag that in so you can experience what working in your subconscious and clearing limiting beliefs and old programming actually feels like. Okay, and then the next manifestation was manifesting friends. Friends, a community was really important for me to feel in my new home and in my new place. I really have this desire for chosen family, and my friends become my family, feel like my family, and I really had a deep desire for that. So when I moved to a new home, only knowing one person across the country from where I was leaving, I kept putting it out to the universe. And how I put this out to the universe is I would go to the window of my new home that overlooked the city, open my arms, open my heart, and just say out into the city, calling in like-minded, high vibe friends, and would just say that every day. I'm calling in, I'm calling in, I'm calling in. That's how I would start it off. Like-minded, high vibe friends to go on adventures with, to have fun with, to laugh, to have so much joyful moments and memories. Like you can just go on a little tangent on a rampage and just putting that out into the world and out into the universe. And I haven't given timeframes and timelines of how long all of this took. So with the friends, this one took longer than human Megan's timeline wanted it to take. It took about a year and a half living in this new city to actually feel the community and the friendships that I was desiring to happen. And that is a really good insight for you if you have a manifestation, a dream, or a desire, and it just feels like it's taking a really, really long time. The gap from where you are to your manifestation actually happening, there is power here, potency. There's initiations, there's growth, there's healing, there's expansion. This space is for your human to grow, the bandwidth and capacity to actually have and hold the very thing you're asking for. When I was putting it out into the world here of high vibe, like-minded friends, joyful community, this Megan to this Megan, when I actually manifested that, I did so much growth and so much healing and so much expansion to be the energetic match to those types of friendships and quality of friendships and community that I desired. So don't get down on yourself of how long something might feel like it's taking. Of course, we all want instant gratification. And can your manifestations happen instantly? Absolutely. But the ones that aren't, they aren't for a multitude of reasons. And I just gave many there. And it could be something even beyond what I'm saying. If it's an ego desire, we're meant to have our heart's desires. So there could be an evolution of your desire, of your manifestation. So noting that as well. And manifesting love. So my new life, I really felt like I co-created a beautiful new life. I got a gorgeous home and my vocation and work was thriving, money and wealth just coming in, so much abundance. And the desire for love of a power couple relationship was very much alive and there. And to manifest this one, I wrote down all the qualities I desired in a person and in a relationship. So this one, I wasn't like the physical features heavily focused on. It was how I want to feel in a relationship, how I want the power couple relationship to be like, what it's the different qualities of that. And I started that off with, I am welcoming and calling in my power couple relationship, and he has, and I stated all of the qualities, wrote down different things that we would feel like and be like, supportive for each other. He's emotionally available. He's honoring his own spiritual journey. Health, fitness, and wellness are a big part of our relationship. And again, to a T, what I wrote down, this person showed up at my gym and I walked right up to him and asked him where he was from because I didn't recognize him and he looked like he was from somewhere else. So that's how the conversation started going. And the love, here we are. I have truly manifested everything that I put out, desired, wrote down, felt into, wanted from rock bottom to now. And that the time frame of like moving into a new place and having the new work, it was about 6 months. So pretty short in the long-term grand scheme of things, because that 6 months from rock bottom, I was doing so much healing. Healing was needed that would even led me into a very like narcissistic relationship, and the healing from childhood that was really required for me to move forward and move on. So that 6 months, it was so needed. And I don't think it should have been quicker or shorter, or it was just perfect. So divine timing is a real thing. And then with the friends and the love, that took a little bit longer, as I said, but I just kept with the trust and the belief that my heart's desires are meant for me. I was trying to say, apply this to you. Your heart's desires are meant for you. You would not be gifted them if you weren't meant to experience them in your human journey. So I hope that was inspiring to you. All the things I manifested, I didn't have when I was at that low point, but really working with my subconscious and doing the manifestation practices that just make you feel good and excited. That really changed so much and helped me move through a very low point in my life. And I'm still manifesting. There's now other desires or expansion and continuation of past desires. And I just want to share really what has resonated with me, worked for me, that you can apply in your own life as well, and be inspired that any and all of your desires, they are truly meant for you, and help you along the way, guide you along the way, gift you insights. And to conclude, really anchoring this in, your heart's desires are meant for you, and how they will manifest, that wasn't even anything I like focused on, was the how. It was, what do I desire? What is meant for me? And putting it out, trusting in it, taking the action when the manifestation impulse came of like intuitive action, go here, try this, start this, go there, and not letting money ever limit that. The training for my schooling, like that was a cost at the time. I was like, whoa, again, money expands in proportion to my desires. I knew and felt in my bones that was the right thing, the right course for me to go and to take in the path. And I just trusted in that path. So really, really feel where there's this deep resonance where it's like, you're meant to go there, to grow there, to be there. And that's where we look at the limitations and start to clear those limitations. So much love to you. I would love to hear beautiful things that helped you in a low point in your life, or if you'd like to share something inspiring for others to see. We're here, we're in this all together. So I would love to see it. And I know someone else would. You never know whose life, your story, your words could affect and change and help. Till next we meet. Mwah.